So today I'm here testing.
Okay, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sister Oz, aka Royal Kandake, hence being Kandake. If it's the first time watching my video, thank you so much for watching and clicking on my video. I trust that you enjoy fully what I have to share. And if you're watching this video again, or if you're joining my channel again, thank you so much for watching me, and I hope you subscribed. Let me first do the formal greetings for I family that are watching. I already done the normal greetings for normal people. So if you're somebody who's watching who doesn't know how the Rasta people greet each other, maybe you can take a lesson from this. But it differs from everybody. It goes with what the next person feels and stuff like that. So greetings to ones and ones. I trust that we're all having a blessed day. Give thanks for life. Give thanks for everything that is good, for waking up this morning, for the sun showing up and being forever trustworthy. I trust that everybody else is also doing IRA, so let's get to it. So the final formalities out of the way. So I'm asking people, is it normal, or is it okay? Is it okay for a Rasta queen or a Rasta king to have friends, close friends with a Rasta, like with the opposite gender? So a Rasta man being a friend with a Rasta woman, or a Rasta woman being a friend with a Rasta man. I would like to know. I'm very curious to find out. So the reason why I asked this question is based on the notion that there's this notion going around, especially in the Rasta circles, those Rasta streets, that man and woman cannot, have a platonic friendship. And I guess is also informed by the fact that in most instances, when the friendships did exist, they didn't end up being as platonic as they originally started being, right? So just to begin, in my own, so firstly, I will share my thoughts, and then I will be also the devil's advocate, and then lastly, before the video ends, I'll call on my king for him to share what his opinion on the issue is. It should be interesting. So firstly, in my opinion, I think it depends on a situation. So if for instance the Rasta king or queen are, like most Rastas are, looking, don't have a partner, what is called single. So if they're single, I don't feel like it's an issue. It wouldn't be, shouldn't, never. It doesn't become an issue, because there's nobody who's going to question that in the first place, right? Then there's the opposite of that situation, which is the queen or the king have a partner. Then that would depend on what the partner feels. I feel like it depends on different levels of trust in the relationship, as well as there's a word I'm looking for, but I'm trying to decorate it, but I'm not going to decorate it. But more or less insecurities. So it would depend. So it depends for me, in my opinion, on two situations. If it's not a problem if the person that is embarking on the friendship, or the two people who are being friends, are quote unquote single. It also shouldn't be a problem if you have a conversation with your partner and your partner's like, I don't have a problem with you doing that. Happy lives, life moves on. So the trick then is, if you're a person who maybe before you met your person, your partner, your king, your queen, you had friends of the opposite gender, then it's a conversation that you need to have before the relationship begins, and to gauge and see what your partner is willing to handle and what they cannot handle. So all of these could be red flags, could be green flags. We don't know. So I feel it's very important to, have the proper conversations while you're getting to know each other. These are kind of like the top priority, because sometimes ladies can be very weird around, other ladies having to be around their men and stuff like that. But personally, I feel like that's a very big insecurity that somebody needs to go to therapy, deal with that, because if a person is going to cheat, they're going to cheat whether or not you're their friends or whatever. You can deal with the part of the person actually doing that, not trying to be the middle person of seeing how you're gonna make your man not do this or make your woman not do this. Like, I feel like that shouldn't be the goal of what a relationship is about. But anyway, I digress. So the second part is me now being the devil's advocate. There's a world whereby somebody would say, oh no, please, like, we're brothers, we're sisters, especially in our community, there's the term brother, sister being thrown around. Just, it's terms of endearment, really, so, a sister, most of my friends, I call them my sisters because it gives it much more depth, I feel, so it's a term of endearment. And then we use that to actually also drive this similar conversations. So whereas I'm a sister and I don't have any whatever interest in a particular person, here you are gonna come with your insecurities and want to project them on me. I want to have sisters and brothers in my circle. That's another argument. It makes sense. Then it opens, I feel that once you move with that notion that we know at work, you can be partners with a man, with a female. It depends on how your supervisor or your boss or your manager decides to pay you. In your family, you've got brothers, you've got sisters, you've got cousins, you've got nieces, you've got all these things, nephews. You have, in school, we used to have classmates who were both female and male, unless you went to an all same gender school type of thing. But if you went to a normal school like most people did, there's males, there's females everywhere, and it's in the playground, it's in the work environment, it's in the day-to-day interactions in society or in the public transport and everything with different people, not just females. So I feel like the stance of that reality, walking with that, allows one to then be able to deal with the other possible issues that could be, that would, be making the next person question the platonic nature of whatever relationship that you have. So anyway, that's too much. I've said my bit. I'll leave the remaining minutes and so seconds to the opinion of somebody else who's not me. I'd like to hear what their opinion is. But to add to that, it will be very, very, very helpful for me to hear what your feelings or your thoughts are on this, because I'm really interested to find out what other people think. Especially Rasta people think. I'm hoping that it would be comments from Rasta people. But even if you're not a Rasta person, is it okay for you to have, as a lady, married or not, husband or not, to have an opposite gender friend? So without further ado, so welcome, hi. To everybody who doesn't know the face, this is Unity, aka Tepo, aka my man, and I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on the issue. So we'll share the mic.
Good morning, everybody. It's still morning this side. Yes, thank you to the Queen, for allowing me the platform. Well, my opinion regarding this, it's simple. There are platonic relationships actually out there that flourish, and honestly speaking, they flourish based on the certain character that you are. In Rastafari, we walk in, or after a long while in Rastafari trotting, you have this notion that Rastafari changed my life. I was this person to that person. But thing is, it just camouflages what you really are. If you are still that person, a lustful person, you will still remain a lustful person. If you are a disobedient person, after a long run, thinking that you have established yourself within Rastafari, you're going to be a disobedient person. So if you're a humble person who is very respectful, you're still gonna be able to do that within the terms of Rastafari. So for me, it's all based on character. Having a friendship with another gender, as a male having a relation with a female, and an innocent one, a platonic one, it is allowed. Only if you are a character that won't see himself or herself asking that person out or falling in love, because that will eventually ripple. It will be a ripple effect on all of your relations with any other female, because you fall easily into another female's persona and how they, their views. So for me, platonic relationships are normal, but it's based on a character. If you're a character ratang basadi, o tla rata basadi. If you're a character ratang banna, o tla rata banna. Being in a friendship situation won't stop that. You're gonna fall into that person, especially how offer that character lo gore we ratile, that charismatic, I don't way of articulating himself or herself. You're gonna fall for that. So basically, it's all about being a character. It's not about just Cobra Steak. It's what character you have developed.
So I'm going to play the role of being a devil's advocate and request some clarity based upon the points that you have just raised. Can you please be in the camera with us? With the issues that you've just raised based upon the uncertainty of people who call themselves lords, gods, queens, kings, and goddesses, and all these things. So if somebody who is considering themselves to be functioning in the reality or in the frequency that would allow them to be their highest version, which is a god or whatever else, which is of high stature, is also subjected or allowing themselves to be subjected to the lowness of interacting with other human beings, then what sets that person apart from ordinary people? Because the idea of the Rasta, hence this question was not, is it okay for any person? It's a Rasta man and a Rasta woman, based upon the logic that the Rasta man and the Rasta woman's vision and end goal or mission is to be functioning not like normal human beings, but as their highest version of themselves.
Well, firstly, Rastas are a part of the human society, number one. And in Rastafari, there's levels, and you have to realize those levels in order to try and attain those certain levels. For me, Rastafari is an unending rising process. It's a trot until you just no longer trotting anymore. Meaning when you're no longer on this earth, then you say you have lived Rastafari. But currently you're still trotting, you're still learning life, you're still trying to understand the process of how life is supposed to be, trying to understand the process of life. So for me, if you haven't mastered lust, you cannot move beyond having platonic relationships. That's number one. If you have not mastered the sense of you cannot master a platonic relationship. You have to master that in order to take the next person as a female. Because at the end of the day, it's like a child. If you a stage is a teenager, in your 40s, you're gonna go back to those stages on a teenager. So for me, it's like we shouldn't skip the process of maturity. So if we skip the process of the sisterly and brotherly love from a certain age, how to differentiate between actual love for a person and just actual lust for a person. And love would include just sisterly and brotherly love. It shouldn't be physical. So if we remove the physicality in sharing of this love, maybe we can say the platonic relationships can be healthy and outgrow, their timeline.
Okay, no, thank you for the response and much appreciated. I'll make my closing right now. So I will not disagree, and I just wanted to understand, because it seems like it's debilitating for some people who call themselves lords and gods, who are not in charge of their own physicalities, because the idea of being plant-based, of being restricting yourself from consuming certain things, is you flexing that muscle of your ability to restrain yourself when the necessity arises. So if then people want to act as if they're children who have long hair, who in their all these years have been gathering nothingness, then that so be it. But for me, I don't take that seriously, because at the end of the day, I feel like it is imperative for somebody who calls themselves a lord and a god, or whatever high name, function and be held accountable to function in that esteem. I do not expect somebody who calls himself a lord or a god to be overpowered by the bodily urges. Then what have you been training? For instance, the bigger the head, or the bigger the turban, or the bigger the hair, expresses the number of years of experience that you have doing this thing. So what amount of restraint have you gathered, when you're in your family and everybody's eating all this meat and all these nice things, and you know that it's not good for me, so I'm not going to engage in it. So why is it that we are selective about things that we're supposed to have a command of ourselves over? So I raise this to raise also the question to say, are we the real higher versions of ourselves, or is just this something that we like to say because it sounds good, because it's such practices and everyday interactions and occurrences that actually test your own discipline, that actually test your own restraint on your own. You don't have to have another Rasta person observing you or anybody looking at you. It's about your own movement. That's what made it powerful. So now people are waiting for people to police them. Nobody's here to police anybody, but everybody's here to police themselves, because even if you're like, it's fine, I'll live my best life, I'll be engaging in as much slackness as I want to engage, the reality of life and the reality of nature is that it's not forgiving. And everybody, there's cause and effect. So if you do something that is stupidic or idiotic, for lack of a better word, stupidic is my word of the day. If you do something that is like idiotic or moronic, then you're going to have to face those consequences, and we have to take responsibility for that. No amount of you wanting to convince yourself is going to rub away the fact that you have 5 children or 3 children outside of your immediate maybe relationship. If you have, even if you don't have a relationship, it's so reckless to be going around planting all these different things in different places. What does that say about Lord God? What does that say? So for me, I feel like it then starts the question or the conversation of, are people really in control of themselves, or are people just being controlled by situations around them? Let me know in the comment section. Anyway, catch you on the next video. This video was much longer than I anticipated it to be, but it's something that I'm passionate about, so I always have a mouthful to say. So catch you on the next video, and trust that you'll enjoy the rest of your day. Bye y'all.
We are evolving.